Good morning, friends. Today we are going to learn third part of module number third short stories. The first short story, Toba Tek Singh. In the previous lecture, we learned about the theme in Toba Tek Singh, the information about the author, his biographical details, and now we are going to learn the next part of it, that is little bit about the analysis and how you are going to analyze and uh, critical appreciation or the your opinion as per the it is the story short story of the partition literature. It is one of the most famous story of the partition literature. See, the analysis, the story begins in the manner of a historical narration, and the opening line itself takes it in its historical context. So, it presents the history. See, what is the beginning of the particular short story? That is, a couple of years after partition, it strikes the government of Pakistan and Hindustan that even as they had exchanged ordinary prisoners, so they should also have an exchange of madmen as well. The style is that of newspaper reportage, but the one is mock serious, dispassionate, and somewhere along the line a hint has been placed about the absurdity of it all when Manto takes the theme of partition to the madhouse. Here we can understand how not only the condition of the common people depicted in the partition literature, but the condition of the people from the madhouse, the insane people, is also depicted by the writer like Sadat Hassan Manto. And he shows us how the partition affected the people from the madhouse as well. That is, whether it was right to exchange madman or not, no one knew, but the decision made by those who know best, after some high level meetings had been held on both sides, no one thought of asking the madmen what they wanted. Here we can understand how the due to the political conditions there is exchange of madmen also. But no one asked them what they wanted, probably because lunatics cannot make out what is right for them. Only madmen who still had their families living in Hindustan were allowed to stay, and the rest had their fate sealed. As for Hindus and Sikh madmen, the question of staying did not arise as there were no Hindu families living in Pakistan, so all would have to be dispatched. So here, through because of the political decisions, there is an exchange of madmen. There is no any thinking about the madmen and their families who are living in Hindustan and also Pakistan. So, here we can understand how the partition literature presented us about the conditions of the partition and the decisions made by those who know best. What is the narrative style used in this particular short story? Thus, in two short paragraphs, Panto sets the tone of the story in the beginning of the story and displays the scene of action with a strong suggestion that the madhouse we are about to enter is in fact going to be a mirror of the world outside. The omniscient narrator remains distanced from the scene and records objectively the events subsequent to the pronouncement of the decision. Here we can understand how the madhouse is the representation of the world outside, that is, how the partition is done or made by the political parties or the political situations, and the omniscient narrator shows us how and records it objectively the events of the Partition. Though grounded in a particular historical context and begun in a deceptive style of reportage, we must notice the difference that will gradually emerge between the rendering of history through a chronicling of facts and through the fictionalization of the same. The irony and satire at play become effective devices for exposing the horrible reality of the historical situation. Here we can understand how the particular historical context is presented to us in the style of reportage, like in Marathi we can say that Vartapatra, and we come to understand how the partition is affected a common people, and it is a long life effect on the people, and here used the fictionalization of the particular political world as well. So historical situation exposed here through the asylum, presentation of the asylum and the setting of the asylum. The theme of madness as metaphor. Madness here used as a metaphor. If we see the particular characters from the short story Toba Tek Singh, we can understand how it is a metaphor, used as a metaphor. In Toba Tek Singh, the lunatic asylum becomes a microcosm of the world outside, and Manto focuses on the anguish of one man to bring out the trauma and tragedy of dislocation and exile faced by those innumerable others who were forced out of their hearts and homes. Even in the world of these madmen, the realization of a division of their country has gradually percolated through. Here we can understand they never know about the partition and how they are going to be exchanged from one country to another country. Here we can understand the world of these madmen, the realization of division of their country has gradually percolated through. So, madness is used as a metaphor. According to Sadat Hassan Manto, here is a metaphor of madness is used. Why? Madness of the political leaders and madness of the political situations, that is the partition of India and Pakistan. This small world is peopled by men belonging to the various communities of the subcontinent, and the narrator gives us short though vivid descriptions of the same. Here in this particular story, there is a madman from the every community. There is a Urdu people, there is a Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, and Christian. All the community madmen are included in that asylum. Thus, there is a Muslim madman who has been religiously reading the Urdu daily Zamindar. There is a Sikh madman who wants to know why they are being sent to Hindustan when they cannot even speak their language. And there is again that Muslim madman who is overtaken by a nationalist zeal while bathing and shouts Pakistan Zindabad only to sleep and fall and pass out. See, here we can understand how the people are remaining in that situation as a madman, and they never know about the situations, and if they understand about the situation of Pakistan and Hindustan, they called as a Muslim man called it as a Pakistan Zindabad and try to fall and pass out. Next is about example of the madman who climbs a tree to deliver a 2-hour lecture on the most ticklish matter of Pakistan and Hindustan, lends poignancy to the plight of those who were now forced to make a choice. Thus he declares, I want to live neither in Hindustan nor in Pakistan. I had rather live on this tree. The fact that he is a Muslim is revealed only when he is persuaded to come down and hugs his Hindu and Sikh friends because they would soon be going away. This implies that he must be a Muslim, for he will stay back. Here we can understand how the Hindu, Muslim, and Sikh madmen live together in that lunatic or in asylum, and they never know about the partition of Hindustan and Pakistan. Here we can understand how the madness is used as a metaphor. In the next lecture we will learn about the next part of this particular short story themes in this particular short story Toba Tek Singh. Till then, thank you for listening, and in next lecture we will learn about the other themes in the Toba Tek Singh. Till then, stay home, stay safe.